Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of The MCR. Mac and me, my name's TJ. In the previous segment, we referenced some electoral anomalies that were discovered to have occurred in the 2020 election. And I kind of wanted to bounce off of that little tidbit into Governor Ron DeSantis. He has made a statement. He was asked about whether or not the 2020 election was stolen, and one of his responses were, and this does appear to be accurate, all those theories that were put out did not prove to be true. I'm a little disappointed he would say that with such conviction.
Well, here's the thing. Had he said some of them, okay, I could live with that, but he said all of them. Now, I don't know if he was being literal there, but I got a problem with him saying all of them, because if you watched yesterday's video, I wouldn't say, if the governor of Florida can look at that forensic report and say there was an election fraud, he's either a fool or a damn liar.
Well, before I get into some of these theories, I just want, according to a Fox News poll taken in December 2021, 78% of Republicans believe the 2020 election was stolen. That was a Fox News poll. CNN did a poll. At least 70% of Republicans still believe Joe Biden's win was illegitimate, and then another poll was conducted in January of 2022. 17% Republicans and right-leaning independent voters said they would vote for a candidate that believes Joe Biden won the 2020 election fairly, we'll say.
Well, I suspect those people just want it to go away.
Yeah.
Stick your head in the sand and wish it would go away.
Also, when asked about the 2020 election being stolen, Governor DeSantis also used the word unsubstantiated. So I don't know if he's trying to do a play technically on definition or what. I mean, you can have a suspicion, but the suspicion may not be substantiated. I don't understand why he would say that.
Well, I think I do. He wants to separate. He needs to separate himself, at least in part, to show he's different than Donald Trump, because there were people on the right who would vote for DeSantis because he's different than Trump. He doesn't want to be connected with Carrie Lake, who's referred to in every story you see as an election denier. Of course, these stories are written by the fraud deniers.
But if you got 78% of the Republicans believe that it was stolen, you're not going to make much of a dent into that group. And
he hasn't. So his motivation is asinine.
And it's to the point right now, and I would like to be a DeSantis supporter. Okay, I suppose if there wasn't a Donald Trump or a Vivek Ramaswamy, I could be. But from what I'm hearing, Vivek Ramaswamy is getting dangerously close to being the number 2 guy.
And I'm fine with that.
And I'm fine with that too. I've kind of suspected Vivek's in it, and this is just a theory. Okay, I can't prove this, but I have to wonder if Vivek isn't there just in case something happens with Trump, because Vivek he's Trump without the name Trump.
Yeah. Well, he's got quite the name. I'd like to hear the media say President Ramaswamy 10 times fast.
Yeah. But I just wanted to throw out there some of the theories that have not proven to be true. Okay, like election drop boxes inserted into the election process that were unconstitutional. All these, and this was done because of COVID, if you remember.
Yeah.
You know,
Under the guise of it.
yeah, under the guise of because of the COVID scare. Okay, then you had absentee ballots for any reason were unconstitutionally allowed in multiple states. Uh, you had Republican and independent observers not allowed into polling places across the nation. That was because too many people, it had to do with how many could be in a confined space because of the COVID virus transmission, blah 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 stuff. All
Well, I
right.
think a reasonable question in those instances, if the governor was not being dishonest here, and I believe he's being dishonest, not a fool, but dishonest, is that, well, how many Democrats had to leave?
Yeah.
None.
Let's see. Then there's the belief Republican and independent observers were not allowed into polling places across the nation. They were not allowed in voting centers in key major cities following the election. There were multiple states where President Trump was way ahead on election night, and then when these polling places shut down
at 10 a.m., which they never do.
Thousands of ballots were inserted into the Biden column. Okay. There's also the theory of drop and roll, where basically a disproportionate amount of Biden votes were inserted into the ballots. Let's see. Legal chain of custody documentation is missing across multiple states. Now, without getting into these theories, I just wanted to go down this list of theories that Desantis proves not to be true or are unsubstantiated. And I don't get it.
I would challenge him here. What in-depth study has he done? Or read? Maybe he should quantify his belief on information, because it seems to me it's his comment that's unsubstantiated.
So, in this regard, I'm still inclined to be a Trump guy, and if something happens to Trump, I could very well become a Vivek Ramaswamy guy.
Oh, okay. Something is going to happen to Trump. He's going to get convicted in D.C., and he's going to be facing 561 years in prison, because this country's been overthrown by communists, and it's going to be up to the American people to do something about it instead of waiting for everyone else. Instead of saying in your Facebook comment, I'm in Facebook jail again, which nobody gives a shit about. Instead of saying that, you might want to say something positive like, let's get together and put an end to this crap.
Well, what my biggest concern in all these theories I just mentioned, I don't believe they've been fixed, adjusted, or corrected.
Nope.
And going back to,
want them corrected.
I'm still of the belief that Kerry Lake should have won that Arizona election.
Well,
okay.
Let me add one thing you didn't mention. A number of Secretary of States, almost all, in fact, I would tell you all in blue states, changed the election laws illegally. That alone ought to have made this an invalid election.
Yeah, and that happened in Michigan for sure.
Absolutely. They had no, we were in they started sending out mail-in ballots during our 2-week lockdown to flatten the curve. So if they believed that 2-week flatten the curve crap was going to work, why'd they start sending out ballots for an election in November?
Yeah.
Because they planned on it being what it was.
Well, I just kind of wanted to share my disappointment in these DeSantis comments.
Well, liar or fool, you decide. I'm calling him a liar. I'll tell you right flat out, I think he's being dishonest.
Well,
if he could be on this show, we'd hold his feet to the fire until they were like burnt marshmallows.
Yeah. All right. And we'll leave it at that. Catch you all in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.